screenshot of you saying the exact same thing?
Yo, no, I want to, but it's counterintuitive. It's counter, but this is like one of those things where, yo, I'm glad I be knowing what I be talking about. People just don't want to listen. Yo, at your job, what do you do when you feel like you really be knowing what you be talking about on a consistent basis, and people be trying to play you like you don't know what you be talking about?
That's why I put everything in writing and refer back to it. I am definitely a receipts kind of man, especially the place I work. Yeah, I'm definitely
per my last email.
No, not a per my last email. I will download the PDF as an attachment. I would download the email.
Download the email as an attachment.
and send it. Like, no, we've talked about this before. Nah, man. Because that's the most annoying shit ever. And it depends on who it is, right? Like if it's a colleague, like a peer, yeah, I will not hesitate. Will not hesitate. If it's someone like C-suite, I might show a little bit more grace because they don't be reading anyway. But if it's a peer or someone who like,
what if it's like your manager, someone like you directly report to, or someone who directly reports to you?
It depends on how close. Like me and my manager are pretty cool, so I might try to pull some shit off. Like, man, don't you listen to anything I say? But former managers knew I would not have done that. But my manager and I are pretty cool.
You know what's funny? So I try to practice self-awareness, and one thing I know about me is that what I inherited from my mom and my dad is a certain level of spice. Like a certain level of spice that I know I'm not serious, and I know I'm joking, but when I get like my sarcastic tone with a little spice, it's going to come off as disrespectful, or not.
Yes,
it'll come off as like short or confrontational. And in real white corporate spaces, I try to leave my normal sarcasm out of my work. Because if you know me and the way I like to converse and the way I like to talk shit, I like to talk shit. Yes. Very playfully, but I like to talk shit. In corporate settings, that may not be the best thing. So listen, it's funny because in real life, outside of corporate settings, I'm not really the most apologetic person. Like, I have to really feel like you deserve this apology for me to give that apology. My G, in corporate settings, my nickname should be Mr. Sorry. Because even if it don't be my fault, yo, you know
you
what?
got to. You got to.
My bad.
Same. And I work with a bunch of black people, and I'm still like, hey, yo, my bad. Even though it's clearly your fault.
Clearly the other person's fault.
Maybe I wasn't clear enough when I was explaining what I needed.
Yo, that's what I be thinking. I'd be like, yo, you know what? If I was better at explaining my end, maybe there wouldn't have been as much confusion. I'm gonna eat that. I'm gonna eat that.
Oh, I'd be like, I'm sorry for all the back and forth. That's one, and that's kind of my way of being like, hey, dog.
Hey, that's my way of saying, yo, dog. Either you dumb as hell or I'm dumb as hell. Yeah. We both can't be dumb as hell together.
And it's not me. Yeah. Most of the time, it ain't me.
You know what's funny though? Because sometimes you get frustrated with coworkers, and tell me if you agree. Sometimes you'll get frustrated with coworkers, and you realize their confusion comes because they don't know what they don't know. So then you end up being like, all right, I got to give you a little grace because you don't even know how this should work. So I'm gonna give you grace. Maybe that first, maybe that second time. The third time, it's like, yo, dog, are you doing this to fuck with me, or are you doing this because you just don't give a fuck?
Because after the initial confusion, I will go down and, like, if it's a colleague, and talk to them face to face. Like, this is what's going on. This is how we alleviate this, and this is how we prevent it in the future. I might even put it in writing after that. And if it happens again, hey, man, like, maybe star that email, maybe print that email out.
Listen, I'm one of those because, hey, you remember? I mean, we can probably say her name. You remember my boss, Stephanie?
Yes.
Now, I love Stephanie. She was a great boss, a great mentor. One of the first things she told me, and she made me start doing, was in any meeting that I'm in, just take notes. If you talking or not, just take notes. She was like, you will be amazed at how many people get in meetings, talk in meetings,
don't know nothing,
don't know nothing, and then don't know what to do following the meeting. She's like, you start taking meetings. She was like, just off of you taking meetings, you'll start learning what needs to go next, follow-ups. That way you just keep things moving. So I just started applying that to, obviously with my job with Stephanie, but my following jobs and obviously my job now. So now when I'm in meetings, even if I'm not speaking, I'm just taking notes. So that way, if it's like, oh, I need to follow up with this person, or they said this X, Y, Z, at least I know where to start. And now I have like this extensive, the Microsoft Notes. I have like extensive Microsoft Notes with all my notes. So like, usually if I really, really, really need answers, I'll try to find it in those notes, see if I just, can go back anywhere. And if I still don't know, that's when I may have to go out and ask. So that way I don't come off as one of those people who are always asking questions.
Because you don't want to be that guy.
What's worse than a motherfucker that always gets things wrong is a motherfucker who's always asking questions.
And it always like, oh, real quick. Like, as soon as a motherfucker
it's never real quick.
As soon as somebody say it real quick, I put my computer to sleep because you're going to talk for a while.
What do you say to people on Zoom meetings who raise their hand, who utilize the raise their hand function?
I am that guy. And if I am not acknowledged in a timely manner, then I will say something.
What's usually the way to go about getting acknowledged on Zoom? Just come off mute?
Yep. So if you raise your hand and they keep going, you come off mute and say, real quick. Before we move on.
Oh no! Here's one of my favorites. Then we can talk about some sports. Here's one of my favorite lines. Yeah, not to derail us real quick. Oh God!
Oh yeah, because there's always something like, not to sidetrack us.
But... we're sidetracked. As soon as you say not to sidetrack, yep, I'm on mute. That's when you just gotta sit back like.
Here comes some bullshit.
It might be funny,
but here comes some bullshit.
Or here's another one of our favorites. The person who came into the meeting late. We 10 minutes in, the person came into the meeting late. Yeah, I don't know if you guys already covered this or not.
Like, you can't message someone on the side and be like, hey dog, did y'all talk about this? But you know what my boss has started doing? When we have meetings, they've started to add like this AI function that like records the meeting and then like sends notes to everyone. And it's like, here's the highlights. But the funniest thing this AI thing does, it tells you who talked the longest. And it was like, and so spoke for 9 minutes and 27 seconds. And I would feel so bad if my name was constantly at the top of that list.
Wait, what is this? Tell me.
It's AI something. It's like an extension you can add because we use Google. And every time we have a meeting with her, like you have to invite it'll be the AI wants to come into the meeting. So you have to like invite it in every time. But like once you do, like it records it and then it'll send everyone like 10 minutes after the meeting's over. It'll send everyone notes. It'll send who spoke the longest. It'll send it'll try to decipher highlights of the meeting. Text me tomorrow when I'm at work and I can give you the specific name of what it is. But yeah,
does it work with Zoom?
It probably does. I'm sure there's some sort of AI Zoom extension that does the same thing. But yeah.
Now imagine you meeting with your director or your boss, and she come in with the statistics saying, "Hey, over a 6-month span, you averaged 2 minutes of talking in meetings. What's up with that? You can't talk more." And then you sitting there like, what?
You know what I would say to that? I ain't got nothing to say. That's all. I ain't got nothing to say.
I don't have anything productive to bring to these meetings outside of what's being discussed. Yo, what's wrong with seeing the way a conversation is going in a meeting and not having anything to bring to the table because things are already moving along? Like we're already addressing the things that I would say. So like,
oh, that's what I say. I'm like, oh, y'all guys read. Oh, y'all ahead of the curve. Oh, that's my go-to. Y'all ahead of the curve. You read my mind. Yeah, you read my mind. Y'all ahead of the curve. I'm good. I don't have anything. Y'all addressed everything.
Or you find a fancy way to rejudge what someone else says. Oh yeah, no, my only thoughts were similar to what Greg was saying, that if we just flipped everything, we'd be right there. So I think if we just double down on that, I think we'd be in a good spot. But
I would say double down, piggyback. Double down and piggybacking. Yep.
Yo, Yo, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, during the summer, during this NFL offseason, specifically after the NBA ends, don't worry, we will get into all of the corporate America tag-alongs, sing-alongs, and ways of survival. Because it's clear for our fellow people of color out here, we just need ways of getting through.
We just trying to get paid and go home.
Bro, we be. Do you call that lack of enthusiasm in job the way?
No, I call that shit survival. The way I say it is, if we didn't have to be here, none of us would be here.
I be thinking the same thing. When people are like, "Well, you got to be excited about your job. You got to bring a certain level of excitement." It's like, yo, dog. I'm gonna be honest. I watch NBA players play 82 games of basketball. I promise you, they not excited for games 1 through 82. No. Not all of them.
Not all of them. Not a Tuesday night in January, and you got to play Charlotte.
Like you can't tell me the Oklahoma City Thunder really got up when they flew into Salt Lake City and realized they had to play. They playing the Jazz, who've lost 10 out of 13, and they on a 14-game winning streak. Like, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about? And it's February 7th.
It's February 7th. They got the number one. They leading the number one seed in the West by 7 games. Everyone else just slacking off. Luka fat.
Shut up, fat Luka. Shut up, fat Luka.
What are you talking about? He ain't here no more. It's skinny Luka now.
This happens. You Lakers.
Oh my God, you're about to say exactly what I was thinking, because in my mind I was like, yo, has anyone who's reported this ever been to Europe? Because I swear to God, you go to Europe for 2 weeks, by day 4 you've already lost 5 pounds just off of the diet over there.
This happened. Laker fans, you're going to get used to this. It's like the Sixers fans and Ben Simmons in his summer workout videos. Every summer, there's going to be a picture of Luka. He's going to be running stairs. He's going to be at some event. And he's going to look all skinny. And everyone's like, oh, here comes skinny Luka, revenge season. And then come October,
he's a little bit bigger than that.
Is he in shape?
Here's the thing, though. I think after last year, and I think after the whole debacle with Nico, the Mavs, the trade, I do think we see a Luka Doncic next year that maybe the league isn't ready for, especially if we're able to address things from a roster standpoint to really help his skill set, him and LeBron's skill set. It would not surprise me if we get the Luka Doncic that led the league in scoring. What was that, 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, I hope so. I still love Luka. I would love for Luka to win MVP.
So me and you are going to be like Luka buddies together. Like,
that's an insane sentence.
But like we're gonna be cheering on Luka together, obviously for different reasons. But like,
correct.
When Luka come in here and have like a 50-point triple-double next season, like me and you,
we're gonna be amped. Like I've done my morning. I was able to watch Luka play basketball in the Lakers uniform during the playoffs. Like the grieving process is complete.
And he lost, so you should feel good about that.
I don't want to see Luka lose.
Well, what about LeBron?
LeBron has won a lot. But I love Bron too.
It's funny because Bron's at the stage of his career where I'm just at the point where I'm watching, I'm just like, yo, I just want to see you win one more, and then honestly, I'd be okay. Like you win one more. Listen, I'll say it again. LeBron has already solidified himself as the greatest basketball player I have already seen in my life with my 2 eyes. I have yet to see many basketball players replicate LeBron James's 2018 playoff run. That is, without a doubt, the best basketball player I have ever seen on a court, and it wasn't fun. I mean, it wasn't even close. It's so crazy that now, anytime I see like highlights from that 2018 Bron postseason run, I said, "Yo, dog, y'all lucky that the team around that guy was just Mitty City." Because if he has Kyrie. Because remember, this is the season after Kyrie left. So if he has a Kyrie, if he has any mid-level, just someone who could get their own bucket for real on that squad, oh man, they would have been. Yo, he was like, yo.
It's Cleveland's title, right? 2018 is Cleveland, right?
Yeah, that was Cleveland. Because
2020 is LA. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. No, the 2016 one, that was the 3-1 comeback. That was the actual championship season. 2018, that was the J.R. Smith forgot the score.
Yes.
That's when he killed Toronto with like 2 nasty.
Yeah, with 2 games. Yeah.
Oh man, Oh, LeBron single-handedly stole 2 games from that series.
Disgusting. Because they were the 1 seed the whole year.
The whole year. Nobody was touching them. LeBron and them as the 4 seed went in there, booted it, bopped them. After game 2, everyone was like, yo, it is actually unfair that of all the teams Toronto keeps running into, it just has to be LeBron James.
It just has to be LeBron. Well, I mean, but that's all Toronto talked about the year. Remember, they're like, we got to get the 1 seed
so we can avoid Bron and them.
7. So game 7 is here. It didn't even make it game 7.
It did. It might have. I don't know if it made it to 5.
Like I think it made it to 5.
They got waxed, and that's crazy because that was before LeBron had a real consistent 3 like he does now. Like he could still shoot, not nearly as well as he shoots now. I'm telling you, I think he's got one more run in him, and I think it clearly has to be in these next 2 years. Shams, I mean, we're going to get into it here when we get into our NBA talk. Shams says this NBA offseason will probably be one of the biggest to remember just because of the player movement. We got the second aprons. We got teams like the Celtics that are likely going to have to blow things up.
Yep.
This could be a good offseason. And I'm not just talking about for the Lakers. This could be like one where, I know Mavs fans maybe wouldn't want to hear it, but this could be an offseason where, hey, maybe they look at that number 1 overall seed and they do say F it because Giannis is available. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know. We don't know.
We'll talk about that later, but I have talked myself into a Mavs offseason that would be absolutely perfect.
Let's intro the pod and let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, here for another Tuesday. Welcome to episode 185 of Speak On It. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that is 185 episodes to Speak On It. Obviously, we want to give a special shout out to Going For Two. Shout out Jeff. Shout out to our usual weekly supporters. You guys are awesome. Shout out Bam, Akili, Kyle, who's in here mostly every week, and everyone who's always showing love, whether you're listening, whether you're in the chat with us. We really appreciate it. When you hear this voice, you already know it's the smoothest Nas fade on the East Coast. The lovely brother. Oh, I guess I'm on the West Coast, but my heart's always on the East Coast. The lovely brother, the good brother, Los D Mix, as usual, every Tuesday, joined by the smoothest bald head, who's actually on the East Coast, Mr. Danny Ocean. How are we doing, Mr. Danny Ocean?
I'm doing great. Hello, Kyle, in the chat.
Hello, Kyle. Our guy. Kyle, the NHL playoffs, they're heating up. I need to know why, up until recently, the Carolina Hurricanes could not win in the conference championship round. They finally were able to get a win. So it's 3-1 Florida Panthers. And I believe, is Edmonton and Dallas still tied? I don't know.
They're playing right now, actually.
Oh, they're playing right now? All right.
I think so. I think it's playing right now. Hold on, let me check the multi-view.
That's probably been
right now.
Who's up?
I think it looks like we're just getting started.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Dallas Edmonton series might be way more competitive than Florida Carolina. It's looking like Florida might be on their way back to the Stanley Cup final. But ladies and gentlemen, we're actually starting right here in the NBA. As you know, this is Tuesday, May 27th. So tonight is game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Pacers. As of right now, we're about 7:20 in the first. Indiana is up 16-13, looking to stretch their series lead to 3-1. And we'll start right there. Danny, thoughts on the first 3 games of the series? So we'll do a quick recap.
Mm-hmm.
So game 1, the Knicks were up big. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've been watching a lot of basketball. I've never seen such a collapse in 3 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes left in a basketball game ever in game 1. The Pacers absolutely stole that game. They came back and won game 2 pretty convincingly. I think they led it wire to wire, but they won that game handedly. And then game 3 was a story of the Knicks that we've seen, particularly in the last round against the Celtics. They go down 20 points and they came storming back to avoid the 3-0 deficit. Now here we are, game 4. This looks like it's going to be a close game. So, Danny, talk to me. What are your thoughts on the first 3 games in this series? And on top of that, how much of this narrative are you buying that that the Knicks are better with Jalen Brunson off the court, or was last game just a bad game for Jalen that the Knicks were able to overcome?
Yeah, let's get that out the way. The Knicks are not better when their best shot creator is on the bench. Last game was an anomaly. Game like the Knicks got to be sick, dog. You should be up 2-1 right now, trying to take control of this series because the Knicks play for some reason they play better on the road than they do at MSG. What are they 3-4 or something like that at home, and then they only lost once or twice on the road.
Mm-hmm. So, and I will also add, Indiana has lost every game 3 in the playoffs this year.
That's insane. But yeah, like if the Knicks had did what they were supposed to do, I think they're going to win tonight. You'd be up 3-1 going home for a chance to go to the finals. And now, best case scenario, this is going to be 6 games. We're going to talk about OKC in Minnesota in a second. It's been fun. I think out of the 2 series, this has been the most fun. The last
hands down. We'll talk about OKC later, but it feels like when you're watching the Thunder and the T-Wolves, it's like the T-Wolves are just trying to fight to stay alive, and the Thunder are like, sit your ass down.
Yeah, that's exactly. But these 2 teams feel like Jalen Brunson just hit his second 3. Like, you can't tell me Jalen Brunson that Knicks team is better when Jalen Brunson's on the bench. Yeah. I will say Jalen Brunson is testing my theory on small guards and can they lead you to a title? Because hot damn it, I think Jalen Brunson can do it.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing about being a small guard. If you're going to be a small guard, you have to be you have to have a similar bag to Jalen Brunson. I think he has a perfect bag for a smaller guard in the league because, his footwork and his ability, his post work, his ability to just hit you with shot fakes, pump fakes. I mean, he's a tough cover. Like, he's a really tough cover. And if you play good defense on him, he can still make really tough, difficult shots. And in the postseason, that midi, I think we say this year in, year out. In the postseason, when the three's not working and you're driving to the hole, not really getting the shots that you're looking for, if you're a mid-range assassin, you're just a
look at SGA.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro.
Look at SGA. I mean, there is a floater Jalen Brunson hit last game. Like, he's a lefty. He's going right. He hits it right over. He is the best shot maker left in the playoffs. Like, if I need a bucket, I think I need a bucket is between him and SGA. SGA's taller and he's bigger, but dog, if I need a bucket and Jalen Brunson all playoffs, when the Knicks need a bucket, I got you. It could be a step back 3, a midi, a floater, get to the foul line. Jalen Brunson, I don't know if I take anyone over him. Maybe I will listen to the SGA argument, but other than that, no.
So let me ask you, do you with game 4 tonight going on right now, do you see the Knicks tying this up as we head back to Madison Square Garden on Thursday or Friday, or do you see Tyrese looking to walk into New York with his Timbs on, ready to send the Knicks home?
I want to see the latter, but the Knicks are so good on the road. I think we go back to New York, tied up 2 in Thursday night. Can you imagine, Saturday night, the Knicks with a chance to go to the finals?
Oh, you're saying they're going to win tonight?
I said they win tonight
and Saturday. Ooh.
Yeah, because I got them winning in 6. Yeah, this game 4, they'd have to. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think the Knicks win tonight, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, winning Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday to win a series. I'm gonna be honest with you. If that was to happen, Indiana would need to look in the mirror and be so sick to their stomach.
Especially after game 1. After the way they won game 1, I'm sure they probably feel like it's destiny that they're going to the finals.
But it's hard. It's hard for me to just think that the Knicks are going to win, 4 straight or however many straight, just because on a nightly basis, Landry Shamet and some of these other
That's
guys
true.
in the Knicks that haven't really been getting a lot of tick this postseason. They're not gonna come in and just consistently be this fiery. The Pacers play a deep bench, and they got multiple guys with multiple different skill sets and bags. Let me tell you right now, Nembhard, Neesmith. I'm sorry I was so unfamiliar with y'all's game before these playoffs, because what I seen from Neesmith in that game one, yo dog, how many threes you got to make in the fourth quarter alone before somebody says this motherfucker cannot shoot the ball again?
Tibbs, that's your whole calling card, defense. Tibbs.
Yo, it was 1-3, still open. 2-3, still open. Third three, still open. Fourth three, now they're trying. Fifth three, bang. It's like, all right, dog, this dude just, that's 15 points right there. Yo, dog, with a minute left, they were down 9. Danny, you can't do that in video games.
You have OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, what's his face? Josh Hart. None of those guys, none of those three. OG, go over there. Like, you can do this. OG, go shut that down. You can do any of that.
What do you think about Tyrese and the choke sign?
Hilarious. He been sitting on that since he found out, and it was a 2. That was the funniest shit ever.
I thought it was a 3-2, but then they showed that first replay. I was like, damn.
I thought it was a 3.
But listen, here's my thing: 2 or 3. The fact that you made the shot to give your team a chance to win it. I'm doing that shit too, because y'all did choke. Win or lose, we shouldn't even be going to overtime, because damn, a minute in game time earlier, y'all were up 9. Now we're tied going into overtime.
Once he made that shot, it was over.
It was over. You knew the Knicks, they didn't have the mental capacity, mental fortitude to fight that.
Who does?
That's a tough one. You're right.
Who in the league could overcome that?
And now look, we in game 4, and guess who's home? The Demon's home. Demon John Haliburton is home.
You put that in the notes, and I laughed for like 20.
The Demon home, y'all. Free ball backwards, and the Demon's home. John Haliburton is at the game right now in a suite after that incident with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I was sitting there like, yo, why is this a big deal? Like, why are you making national noise about this? And then I remembered it. Indiana. Not only do Indiana for sure wants to keep Tyrese Haliburton for the next 10 years so he can finish off his career there, but no matter how this season goes, feels like the Pacers are gonna want to make Indiana a premier destination for free agents. And the only way you do that is you acquiesce to your superstars.
Yep.
You don't want it to be a thing where you're, unfortunately, even if they deserve it, kicking parents out of stadiums away and at home.
Listen, when they suspended him, they didn't say how long it was going to be. They just said for the foreseeable future. It just wasn't that foreseeable. And
it was foreseeable enough for the world to forget that the Bucks handled the Pacers handled the Bucks. And good enough for them to be like, hey.
And he's in the suite. So he's not going to be able to go downstairs. I'm okay with it. I
also was like, he should have only missed a couple games. Should have been back for the Cleveland series, but
yeah, he had to sit out the Cleveland series. Like, this team is on the verge of potentially going to the finals. Let that boy daddy in the building, in a suite.
Now, if the Pacers got to the finals, what would you have to say about your former coach Rick Carlisle? And because a lot of people make fun of his system, saying there's not a lot of defense played. Obviously, with this Pacers roster, we're seeing that when Rick has the offensive pieces to be able to push that pace and the defensive versatility to be able to guard in multiple positions with multiple bodies, it's a pretty damn good coach. Makes you think, hey, that 2011 team was probably damn good. Now, you tell me, Rick Carlisle was the coach for the Mavericks 2011, right?
He was.
Was this system offensively similar to what we see now with the Pacers?
No, because back then it was built around Dirk, right? Because Dirk, I'll say Carlisle tailored the offense more toward what Dirk wanted to do at the nail. Like, he'd get on the elbow and you let Dirk go to work. Carlisle's system is more free-flowing. You don't see him calling a lot of sets, but he has things that he wants to do, right? So like with the Mavericks, it was free-flowing, but We want to get the ball to Dirk on the elbow or in high leverage situations, stuff like that, right? So, like, you don't see I don't watch a lot of Pacers games, but like you probably won't see the Pacers run like a lot of stuff because Carlisle is about it's like a free flowing thing. Like they'll have things they want to focus on, like probably Haliburton 3, like here Siakam on the block, depending on the personnel. But yeah,
Siakam's been showing me some things in this series too.
What did he have? What was that? It was a game 2 or game 3?
Yeah, he had like 40 in game 2.
40. You forget he was on a championship team with Kawhi. He was the second best player on the championship.
And I don't know if you heard, but Draymond Green was recently talking about that cover from that 2019 finals. And he said he was actually referring to the Minnesota series, Minnesota Golden State. And he said, he failed his Julius Randle matchup. And he was like, really, that was the first time since the 2019 finals when he guarded Pascal Siakam that he just said that he just lost the matchup. And then they asked him why. And he was just like, he's such a hard cover because with certain guys, you learn their tendencies, you learn their moves that they like to do off of certain ways you play them, and you kind of learn that. With guys like Julius Randle, guys like Pascal Siakam, they're so twitchy that as soon as you start doing one thing, they kind of already are thinking of it. They always got to counter to the counter to the counter. And ever since, he said that, I've been just watching more of, Siakam in this series. That is why he is a tough cover. And it's why he's a tough cover in this series for the Knicks. But at the same time, it also shows me how good defensively OKC is because Julius Randle isn't getting nothing.
Nothing.
He ain't getting nothing. All right, before we go to the West, this is your one chance. Do you want to change anything about your Knicks pick? You have Knicks in 6. You sticking with it?
I want to say Knicks. The Pacers are the better team. The Pacers will be a better matchup for OKC. But I'll say Knicks in 7.
Knicks in 7. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all heard it. He's going Knicks in 7.
What about you?
I had Pacers in 6. I'm not deviating from that. I'm taking the Pacers. Pacers in 6. I mean,
I think that's the right pick. I'm just not deviating from Knicks. I think, like I said, Pacers are the better team. Like the Pacers are better to play the Knicks. The Knicks were built to beat Boston. They did that. And I think the Pacers are more equipped to play against OKC than the Knicks are.
I do too. I do too. I really do. Although I don't think anyone's beaten OKC, but we'll see.
No, but it'll be more interesting compared to.
B League says before we move off this topic, fix the Knicks, Danny. Fix the Knicks. He also says if the Knicks get through this round, they'll be greasing the light post.
They might need the riot squad because the way Knicks fans been acting recently, love it for them. Not hating, but they be wilding. Did you see when they beat up that man? We talked about it. They beat up that dude in the Pacers jersey.
He got sent to a Pacers game for free, though.
I mean, I wouldn't want to get my ass beat to go see the Pacers.
Hey, you love your squad. What's good, Akili? What's good, my good brother? That's Champ. What's good, Champ? That's our champ. All right, let's head over to the Western Conference where the OKC Thunder lead the Minnesota Timberwolves 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals. Danny, last night, I mean, it was a really good competitive game. Felt like every punch OKC threw, Minnesota responded, and every counterpunch Minnesota had for OKC felt like OKC had a equally as effective counterpunch. They take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series. They are 1 win away from the NBA Finals, ladies and gentlemen. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 1 win away from the NBA Finals. Danny, SGA versus Ant. Give me your thoughts on this matchup so far. Give me your thoughts on the series so far. And if you have any thoughts about this whole free throw merchant conversation they're having around SGA.
I think SGA at this point, now that I said this last week, we keep talking about OKC. Oh, they're so young. They're so young. SGA is 26. He is young, but we need to stop talking about SGA like he's 22. This is year 7 for SGA. And what year is this for Ant? This is like year 4? This is like year 4 for Ant. So right now, at this moment in time, better. I think he is more collected. He's more he knows his spots. I would still take. I just love Ant, but right now SGA is better. The free throw merchant stuff, I am a bit of a subscriber to that.
Yo.
Now some things that he does.
Hold on, Danny. You can't say this as my fellow Luka Doncic stan.
So you didn't let me finish. I said I kind of subscribe to that theory. Luka, sometimes
they do the same shit. Actually, they be doing the same shit.
But I feel like Luka's is more believable, right? Like so, what Luka? Hold on. So Luka does that thing where he comes across the screen, he gets you on his hip, he pump fakes, he stops, and then he shoots, and you run in the back of him. Dog, SGA.
He do that. Now he do that.
Yeah. Dog, SGA be driving to the basket, no one touches him, and he'll be like, "Oh shit." Like sometimes it is just shameless.
Hey, what'd he do? What'd he do?
Oh, shit. And just
he was like, he lost some. Oh, goddamn. Oh, God.
But am I lying though?
I mean, kind of. Yo, dog, yes and no. Because sometimes he be doing that, but there be a lot of times where like he get past the defender and they foul him.
They're sometimes yes.
Most times yes.
And I will say
and I'm gonna go back and say when you look at some of the previous 30-point MVP seasons we've had, SGA has taken less free throws.
Yes,
some of those guys. So just off of that alone, he can't be a free throw merchant to me because I watched Joel Embiid for a season, and dear God,
yes,
love Joel Embiid's MVP season. But come on now.
But sometimes it just feel like SGA is shameless, and Joel did too that season. I'm not a big hater.
He's shameless because he's a guard. It's shameless because he's a guard, which makes what Joel Embiid was doing
hilarious
because he's a tank. He's a tank.
Hilarious. But I don't. It annoyed me in the beginning, but it doesn't anymore. You're right. Because once you see the replays, like usually someone's grabbing his jersey. But dog, sometimes, like there was one drive last night. There were 3 Minnesota defenders around him. He was near the basket. No one touched him. And he oh shit.
Now that I mean, hey, you gotta if you know how the refs call it. Here's what I will say though.
That's props to him.
Here's what I will say. What I am tired of is this whole young aspect of SGA. Ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to know the offseason in which OKC traded for SGA. It was either before that was the offseason that Kawhi went to the Clippers.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now we're talking about right around
21?
COVID. We're either talking about the season. We're either talking about the COVID season or the season after the COVID season. Ladies and gentlemen, SGA is not a young player because by then SGA was already like 3 or 4 years in.
He's 26. SGA is 26.
Yes. SGA is like 2 years younger than me. I was in school with SGA's cousin. Like me and Nikhil Alexander-Walker were in college together. So not like we were friends, but obviously we both went to Tech.
And he'll be 27 in July. SGA is not like this. They talk about SGA the way they talk about Wembanyama or Ant. Like SGA is approaching 30.
When should we get rid of the young title for really good basketball players? What age?
24, 25. And it depends on how long you've been in the league, right?
Or like how much you have.
Say what?
Or it depends on how much playing time you have. Because maybe right. Your rookie, your first 2 years, you didn't really get a lot of tick, but your third year, you really turned up. So yeah, you are young, but by like your fourth year, maybe even fifth year, if your first 2 years you didn't play a lot, I can understand being deemed young. But let's just say you're 18, 4 or 5 years later, you're 23, 24. It's like, yo, dog, you're not a young player. Like,
I mean, that's Ant though, right? Because Ant will be 24 in August.
Ant's not a young player. Ant's not a.
So who's young?
Unless they mean young, as in like young in inexperienced in like postseason, maybe. But if this is your fourth or fifth postseason, you're not a. I mean, if this is your fourth or fifth postseason, you're not a young player. Maybe maybe if this is your 4th year in the league, but your 2nd year really making deep postseason runs, you are not young. I have a better word for you. Inexperienced. I would prefer that word. Inexperienced, but young.
Yeah, so who is young in your eyes then?
I really liked Wembanyama's young. I don't even like Ja in the young category.
Nah, Ja and SGA the same age, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of like I like Wemby. Let's think of some other young superstars.
Yeah.
Cade Cunningham.
Yeah,
I would say young. The Thompson twins, obviously young.
Jalen Green.
Jalen Green, Jalen Williams. Williams, I will get down with, but
Banchero's young.
Banchero. Tyler Hero's on the verge. Like
Tyler Hero and John Morant. They the same age, right?
All right. See how like you start thinking about it, it's like where do you put LaMelo in this? Where do you put LaMelo Ball in this?
Let's see. I would call him young. I would call him inexperienced because LaMelo is 20. No, he's 20. He'll be 22 this year. He young.
Hey, how many conversations do you think LaMelo has with his team saying, "Yo, guys, get me the fuck out of Charlotte"?
0. He has the perfect setup. He plays for a team with no expectations. He can do whatever he wants. Is Charlotte the best city in America? No, but it's good enough. You're close to
And it's a nice city.
It's nice weather. Oh no, he chilling. True. I got to win 25 games a year. That's it.
And then every like 3rd year we win 40 something to be competitive, go to the playoffs or play in to give people hope, and next year we right back to mediocrity.
That's it. Like LaMelo Ball. It doesn't, and I don't want to speak for him, but you don't get the vibe like it's all about winning for him. Like winning is cool, but making this money and buying these cars are better, which I'm not mad at.
Oh, man.
Makes Kobe so special is because no one is like him. So if no one is like Kobe, then there are a lot of people who appear to be like LaMelo.
Achilles said, ATL, BBL, that's my Michelle, Thunder in 5. You know who would say something like that? You know who would say something like that? A brother with a painting of Shannon Sharp, Snoopy, Dr. Dre, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Tony the Tiger, Squidward, and Snoopy playing poker on his wall. Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to know that is my favorite thing to say. It might be my new favorite thing to weekly say. And I never find the same people sitting at this table.
He's the only person that has art that changes from week to week. Whatever mood he's in, the people pop up.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about the battle of the second options in this OKC series? Jalen Williams has been severely outplaying Julius Randle. Is that just kind of an indication of where these two teams are structure-wise?
I think I think the Thunder team is deeper. So until like last night, Jalen has just been okay, right? Like I remember game 2, he struggled. Last night he was on fire, but the Thunder don't suffer as much if he has a bad game compared to Julius. Like Julius has to be perfect, and so does Ant. Like last night, Ant didn't take a shot like in the first quarter.
Yeah, like, I wasn't a fan of that. Like he was making the right play, like he said, but yo, dog, you got a chance to send this bitch to 2-2. 2-2 is way better and way more manageable than 3-1. You got to unload the clip. Yo, you know what the NBA playoffs makes me miss, though, sometimes? Like, I love seeing beautiful ball movement basketball, but sometimes you need those empty the Clippers.
You need Game 7 Luka against Phoenix.
Yeah.
I'm going to come out here. I'm going to have 40 at half. Y'all go home, and that's what they needed from Ant last night.
Oh my God, yo!
Like
that was one of
it was over half. Like he was looking at people like, tell him go home. It's a wrap.
Yo, motherfucker coming into your house putting 40 on your heads up at halftime will have me questioned a lot.
Like it's time to go. He broke that franchise in half. But I will say, like what did Ant have? 16?
Yeah.
If he would have had 20, they would have won. Like, if he would have been a little bit more aggressive in the first quarter, like, you can make an argument that they would have won that game.
Yeah, because they only lost by what, 3, 2?
They only lost by 2. And just you get, and it's, for me, it's as simple as that. I know that's a little revisionist history, but there's no way Anthony Edwards cannot have 0 shot attempts like 2 minutes in the first quarter.
He's too good. And like you saw what happened in game 3 when you outscored the Thunder by yourself with
yourself.
Like do you remember them days when Kobe would just get Kobe would have stat lines of like 16 of 42, but 39 points.
That's what they needed.
Listen, at this point, and that's what you got to do tomorrow. You got to think score first, pass later. Y'all better get open.
And you got to attack. Like, go right at, did you see what's his face? I feel so sorry for Chet. Every time they start begging him to post Chet on the ground.
Oh, and he looking for the foul. He definitely be getting fouled too, but the ref be like, get Chet.
Like, dog, you a twig. The wind blow you falling. Like, Chet fell on the ground last night. I forgot what happened. I think it was against Julius Randle, and that boy is on the ground. And I was like, Lord, someone get Chet.
The thing is, he made like 2 or 3 crazy shots. I'm like, oh, damn, Chet, that should be an and one. And they're like, nope, keep playing, play on.
Nope, get in the gym.
What up, Jamie? All right, Danny, moment of truth. Do you see this series returning to Minnesota after, what is it? So they play again tomorrow. So you see this series returning to Minnesota on Friday night?
Nah. Tomorrow. Because it's in OKC, right?
Mm-hmm. It's game 5.
Yeah, them boys ain't going. Ain't nobody going back to Minnesota.
It's like that.
Yeah. Tomorrow night is the Jalen Williams game. You know how them boys play at home.
You're right. You know what's crazy? You and I both picked T-Wolves in 6. Yep. This series may not go to 5.
Which is insane. Shout out to the Thunder. I didn't believe in them. I've been calling them Fugazi all year. And here we are.
Now, the Thunder look like... honestly, don't take this the wrong way. The Thunder look like the Philadelphia Eagles. Like the NBA.
Unstoppable.
They just look like this team is like, all right, because during the regular season for the playoffs in the NFL, everyone was like, someone's going to shut down that running shit. They're going to force Jalen Hurts to have to throw the football. They're going to shut down that running shit. And then the Eagles got to the postseason. Everyone found out, yo, dog, they don't even have to throw the ball to beat you. They really can just run you over.
Yeah,
I think everyone was like, nah, in the postseason, a veteran team is going to play the Thunder, and they're going to knock them out. I'm going to let the association know. When Denver lost that game 7, it was over for the league.
Send them to the finals.
It was over for the league because there was nothing Ant-Man was going to do. Honestly, the more you think about it, the fact that Nuggets team took this Thunder team to 7 should tell you how fucking filthy Nikola Jokic is.
Yes.
Yo, Jokic, you have earned my respect. Here on out, I'm never going to question any of your MVPs or nothing. You won all those. Your fans.
Shit, you should have won it this year.
Yeah, you could have won it this year. Thunder, y'all have earned my respect because that wasn't the thing. Is you could make a case that wasn't even the best version of that Thunder team. I mean, of that Nuggets team that took this Thunder team to 7.
No,
and one would say a better Minnesota team might not even make it to 5 games with these guys.
No, which is insane. Hey man, Jokic made me a believer when he won a championship. I ain't said nothing. I was up in here slandering Jokic. He won that title.
Steps,
Vorp dorks and all that shit. Nah, man, he the best player.
Nah, he
the best player in the NBA, and it's not close.
And it's not close.
It ain't close.
I mean, obviously, I think we remove like LeBron, Steph, KD from this. They're just god level. Like everyone just knows.
Jokic is better than them.
Well, I mean.
Jokic is the best basketball player in the NBA. Then it's everyone else.
I agree with you that he's the best basketball player in the league. I just when I think of that, I don't put KD, Steph, Bron in that. I just feel like they have transcended. Like they're just
okay. Do you think what does Jokic have to do to get in that? Because I think he's there. He's got the championship. He's got the numbers.
I think for me, in this current iteration of the NBA with second, third levels, Jokic to me only really has to win one more championship for me to just say, yo, dog, you're just great. Like, you know what I mean?
You're flirting with Tim Duncan. Now, granted, Tim Duncan won 4.
Yeah. It's like year in and year out, you could almost pencil in 25, 8, and 8 from LeBron and a first, second, or third All-NBA team. That is, I think I'm at a point where Jokic is like, yo, I'm a pencil you in for a 27, 28 point triple-double for a regular season average.
Yeah.
I'm a pencil you in for a top 4 seed in the West. And I'm gonna pencil you in for the ability to take even the best team that we've seen in a very long time to 7 games. You win one more championship, you Teflon to me.
Like third team All NBA is a down year for Jokic, which is absurd.
Absurd. And I think with the likelihood of the super teams and the dynasties being gone, we're looking at an NBA where winning 1 puts you in a high category, high stratosphere. Winning 2 puts you in clearly above your peers. You know, once you start winning 3 and above, it's like, all right, we should be kind of figuring out your Hall of Fame resume because you got it.
Oh, I mean, Jokic is a Hall of Famer today, though. But I see what you're saying. You don't think he's a Hall of Famer?
No, he is.
Okay. I was like, woo!
Definitely. But I'm saying when you start thinking of Bron and Steph, it's like, yo, y'all both got 4-piece. Y'all done it in ways that we haven't seen it done. Even when y'all maybe have lost, y'all have lost and been the best player in the series. That's one. I think with KD, we saw what you did. Well, no, KD has a few too. And we saw what you did when you went to the Warriors. So, you know what I mean? Granted, what you've done since then, you know, some people might hold it against you. I don't necessarily, because when you look at some of those teams, Brooklyn was a fucking mess from top to bottom. Ownership, that was just a mess.
James Harden came in a fat suit.
Yeah, James Harden came in a fat suit. Phoenix, they were held hostage by Bradley Beal and whatever they thought that shit was about to be. And then obviously we'll wait and see. So, man, I don't know. I think this is turning. I think Charles Barkley said it earlier today. He said, "Whoever come out the East, this is the OKC Invitational," and I've seen enough. I think Indiana has the only team that could probably
make it interesting.
Yeah, make it interesting, but nothing would be funnier. See, here's why I would love to see the next one, because nothing would be funnier than the way OKC beats teams, or OKC to walk into Madison Square Garden and smack these boys by 40.
It'd be a sweep. Like, it dead ass. I feel like it might be a sweep.
Yeah. And you know how New Yorkers would be talking to like OKC, they make it seem like,
oh boy,
what the fuck is in Oklahoma? Y'all boys ain't, and they go in there to run their boys out.
You would hear.
Yeah, it would be funny. Staying in hoops a little bit as we conclude it. Talk to me about the WNBA kicked off not too long ago. We got Minnesota and the Liberty who are off to hot starts. We had a few teams that were without a win up until recently. I think Chicago and Dallas may have played each other last night. I don't know. Or they're playing each other very soon. I know Connecticut's undefeated. The Valkyries are out to a 2-1 start. Danny, talk to me.
Yeah, so Minnesota is undefeated. I think, the Liberty are up by 30 on Golden State right now. I think the Liberty are undefeated. Yeah, they're 3-0. They're about to be 4-0. Nothing too much there. They went to the finals last year. They're both amazing teams. I still think New York's the favorite. Let's see, Connecticut and Dallas are playing each other right now. So someone's gonna get their first one. It looks like it's gonna be Dallas. It's 98-77 with 4 minutes left.
All right, I got it. The Sky. I need you to talk to me about the Sky.
Buddy,
how can they be so bad?
Because they don't have any playmakers. And when they drafted Camila Cardoza in the same draft, I came up here and said, you could have drafted Rakia, who's in LA doing great, and then you could have drafted Angel. Oh, did something happen? No, it didn't.
Could have drafted Rakia, could have drafted Angel.
Yeah. They don't have any playmakers. They have no one who can get their own shot. They don't run a lot of sets. If I'm Chicago, I'm calling Dallas right now. What do you want for Enrique Iguodala? Because we need shot makers. I don't care if Enrique shoots 40 times a night. Like, you just don't have anyone that can get their own shot. They don't run a lot of sets. I know Angel's getting a lot of hate right now for her game. It's early in the season, but all off season, I mean, she did it unrivaled. She played, but it was she's in the gym with Lisa Leslie. She's getting a foot, and none of that shit seems to have translated. It's
still... Dog, I watched the clip of Angel Reese miss 5 shots in a row and get 5 offensive rebounds, and I didn't know if I was surprised, disappointed. I wouldn't know if I was shocked or impressed. Yo, she missed 5 shots, but got all 5 of her offensive rebounds.
And these aren't like middies; these are
right at the rim.
Right at the. If you watch that clip, if you look at Camila Cardozo, she legitimately just walks away. Go back to that clip, and you'll see Camila on the right side of the basket, and she's watching, and she's putting her hands in the air because there are 3 people around Angel, and Angel does not pass it to her, and she just walks, and she does it on the other side at the rim. She posts up, the guard does not get her the rock on the post, and she walks off the court. Like, she legit just like walks out of bounds and is like, y'all got it.
Who, Camila Cardozo?
Yeah, like, I feel like if you're Chicago, you got to find a way to get a playmaker. You need someone who can get their own shot. Enrique's contract is expiring this year, so I wouldn't trade for her unless she agreed to an extension. If she doesn't agree to an extension, then Dallas is going to have to give a first-round pick. They're going to give something more, but you need something, because right now I think they're scoring like 60-something points a game, and that ain't going shit. They ain't beat nobody.
On the Great White Hope, Caitlin Clark, going to be out for 2 weeks with a quad strain.
So she was hurt earlier in the preseason. They're saying this is related. There are a lot of Fever games. I think every Fever game is on national television except like 2. So they're going to be on TV a lot the next 2 weeks. Is she not going to be there? But that team is deep enough to survive without her. So when she gets back, it may probably be no harm, no foul.
What are your thoughts on their style of play? I'm seeing a lot of conversation online that hasn't really been much difference between the Fever and their play from last year to this year. And,
for me, last year, it wasn't how they played. It was who was around her. She didn't have a lot of talent. Like, you got Kelsey Mitchell, baller. You had Aaliyah Boston, and that was kind of it. But now you got shooting. Now you got DeWanna Bonners, Cunningham. Like, they have a good team around her. I will say, though, you and I were texting during that Liberty game Saturday, right? Like, she's still doing the same shit that got her in trouble in college, the same shit that got her in trouble last year. Like that fade to the left, that's how Natasha Cloud stole it. That wasn't a foul. It was all ball.
All ball.
She got a fade to the left when she shoot threes. Natasha saw it, got the ball. She still leads the league in turnovers. Well, I don't think she leads the league, but she still has a high turnover ratio. I still think some of that is that she's trying to make passes that no one else can make, and her teammates have never seen that before, so they fumble. But still, like, the turnovers got to come down. She has to be a better defender. She has to tighten her handle up, and she got to stop that fade to the left when she shoots threes. Because teams are scattered. Like, that's how they lost Saturday. They didn't get a shot because she has to fade to the left. Cloud picked her pocket, and that was it. And she got to stop complaining. She very Luka-like with this complaining.
Yeah, very. It's frustrating because it's like, yo, dog, you didn't get the foul. You got. I know it's like you could do this every. You know what? It would, imagine if NFL. You know what would be funny if we were able to see how many NFL linemen complain about how often they get held.
Yeah, that's exactly
like, yo, dog, you can literally get held. Or defensive lineman, I should say. But how many defensive linemen would be like, oh, he's holding me. It's like, yes, he is. He was holding you before. I'm gonna call one. I'm gonna make sure I call him, but we're not doing this all game. So
they got to be agreed
away, or you know what I mean? You get paid the big bucks, and I feel like that's what we tell. I feel like that's what the refs would be telling the WNBA and NBA players. You like imagine Scott Foster telling James Harden, James, you make $45 million a year. Fight through the contact.
Figure it out, my guy. And then the thing about Caitlin, so after that game, Stephanie White, the Fever head coach, was like, we don't get any calls. The refs don't respect us. Guess who's taking the second most free throws in the WNBA this year?
The Fever?
The Fever. So I don't know where the fuck you coming with that bullshit. You've taken the second most free throws out of any team in the league. Like, you're getting the calls. What more do you want?
Here's what I will say about some of the WNBA discourse. I find it, for all you people who criticize what's my man Dan Hurley and how he be talking about the refereeing of games after games. I need y'all to pay attention to these WNBA coaches because they be going up there and basically saying, "Yo, dog, they stole the win from us. We had the game.
100%.
They stole the win from us. Y'all see that shit? What? Y'all see that shit? We
They
didn't lose.
would
The ref stole it from us." And everyone's like, "No, I don't think that's
like they would dead ass go to a podium and be like, "Y'all saw that shit too, right?" I'm
yeah."
not
Like, who is the is that the Lynx coach?
Oh, yeah, she God, what's her name? She's a vet. She was the Olympic coach.
Yo, I'm talking. This was back
Yeah,
after the
Cheryl
final.
Reeve.
Was that after? Because did the Liberty sweep them or they lost? They won in 5.
They Liberty won in 5, but yeah, Cheryl Reeve went to the
And it was
podium.
at game 5
like,
when it was a controversial no call, and she was like, "I just don't know. They just
they have to tell me. Someone walk me through it." Yeah.
She's like, "Well, someone walk me through how you just don't call that. That cost us the game and a chance to win a championship." And everyone's like, "Girl, you lost in 5."
Like comedy. They are no problem walking out and be like, "Yeah, that ref entered a name. Scott Foster, awful, terrible."
Oh man. All right, that's all, man. That's a lot of basketball talk. First full hour of basketball talk. Let's get into let's cleanse our palate with a little fantasy talk.
Okay.
And great timing as Kyle is back. Kyle, give us an update on the game while you can. Danny, getting into some fantasy talk. I am still interested in Jaden Reed. My trade from a few weeks ago was rejected. I reached out to the guy. He still has not responded. Achilles, come on, man. Talk to me. What does a Jaden Reed package in our league looks like? I need some Jaden Reed stock in a league. Achilles, what would you be looking for in a Jaden Reed trade package if you were to trade him? I'm thinking, I don't know, man. I want to keep pressing the agenda because I feel like I need Jaden Reed stock. But outside of that, Danny, you and I were having some trade talks last week that I love.
Yeah.
About. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny and I are, in the same dynasty league as Kyle and Akili, aka Champ. And I'm interested in trading for David Montgomery. Danny, you want to let the people know about where some of our trade activity or trade talks has landed us so far?
Yeah, so what's his face? David Montgomery is on the trade block. The first trade you sent over was you would get David Montgomery and you would get my 2nd round pick, and I would get Kevin Boutte, your 3rd round pick, and Bam's 3rd round pick. Fair trade. I'm just not interested in Boutte at all. I was interested in Bam's 3rd round pick because.
But what if Keishawn Boutte turns out to be not Boutte and good Boutte as a number 2 wide receiver in New Orleans? Not New Orleans, New England. What if Keishawn Boutte turns out to be the wide receiver in Mike Vrabel's system that Stephon Diggs is not fresh off the injury?
So right now I am focused on either accumulating high picks or game changers. I have enough number 2s. I have enough semi-needle movers on my team. Like I'm either big game hunting or I'm prepping to go big game hunting. So that's why I really have no interest in Boutte right now. So after that, I said I would give up David Montgomery and Bam's 2026 2nd round pick for your 2026 1st round pick and your 2027 3rd round pick. And you said no to that. And my logic is, if you and I both think Bam is going to be as bad as we think he is, I feel like that 2nd round pick is going to be close to your, like if the Horned Ducks are on the trajectory that you think, that first round pick,
they are.
That 1st round pick is going to be at the bottom of the 1st round. Bam's 2nd round pick is going to be at the top of the 2nd round. So in my mind, it is essentially a pick swap. Like I don't think there's going to be that much.
I guess my thing with that is we may think Bam is going to, we may think for comedic purposes in many jokes that Bam's team will be bad. But we also can't forget Bam's team technically was
Mhm.
one of the better seeds for a good portion of the
He
season.
was.
And his team was a playoff team last year. So
Mhm.
you
I'm
can't,
calling that Fugazi.
we can't
I'm going.
we can't just assume that
I
Bam
don't
will be
believe
bad
you.
next year because he did take a team to the
Nope.
playoffs a year ago.
I can. He just traded for DeAndre Hopkins. Hell yeah, I'm gonna say that team gonna be some ass.
But he also has Lamar Jackson, so it kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense.
Let's look at no. Let's Bam. If you in here, this is no disrespect. This is just me making a bet. Let's look at Bam's team right now.
Bam, just remember who's showing your team some love and respect and who's saying your team is some ass.
It's
Capital.
not. I'm just saying, like, this is Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, great. Isaiah Pacheco, don't know. T. Higgins, okay. Stephon Diggs coming off knee injury. TJ Hawkinson, okay. Alvin Kamara, old. Tyron Tracy, Najee Harris, Cooper Kupp, cool. DeAndre Hopkins. That is his starting lineup. On his bench, Russell Wilson, Tank Bigsby, Keaton Mitchell, Torrey Horton, Isaac Tesla, Adam Thielen, Christian Kirk, Calvin Austin, Marvin Mims, Josh Downs, Isaiah Likely, Darnell Washington. He is banking on a lot of people who have not produced in a while or never produced to have breakout seasons. So in my mind, me having his second round pick is going to be closer to a bottom first round pick. And if the Horn Ducks are as good as you say they are, that pick might be 108.
I don't know, man.
108. Oh, how many is a 10-team league? That could be 109 compared to 201, right?
But
Like
also, why are you so sure that without Ben Johnson, this Lions offense is going to be as effective as it was last season?
what does Dan Campbell believe in? What is his core?
Okay, but there's also a better run. There's a better, more explosive running back in that same backfield.
Yeah, but we know David Montgomery, goal line, when they have a lead, which they do a lot.
Yeah, that was when Ben Johnson was called in place. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the loss of Ben Johnson is gonna be bigger than you think it is.
I think Dan Campbell at his core wants to run the ball, and I think David Montgomery is. Dan Campbell is a thunder kind of guy, and that's what David Montgomery is. He is your thunder guy. He's gonna get your goal line carries, like hurry up offense, 2-minute drill, coming from behind, 100% Jahmyr Gibbs. That's your guy. But how many games are the Lions behind in? Like how many times do they have to deploy like a 2-minute offense? You know what I'm saying?
That was under a whole different offense. They got a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but I'm making the bet that David Montgomery is still going to be not the premier back, but he's going to get a majority of the touches, and he's going to steal them at the goal line like he did last year.
I don't know, brother. We'll keep discussing, but seems that this may be a trade that may come together as the season gets closer.
Maybe. Yeah, see, Cal's with me. Cal says he doesn't think Ben Johnson's loss will affect the Lions that much. Like Dan Campbell, at his core, wants to run the ball. He wants to run it down your throat. He wants to determine, like he wants to establish, dominance. That's the word I'm looking for.
I don't know. I personally think that with a new person calling the plays, new time management, new offensive management, I think it's going to be a bigger deal than we think. But maybe you guys are right. Maybe it won't be that big of a deal. Obviously, David Montgomery might be sounding like he's second round-esque. Like he's going to take at least a second or a third and a good player. So we'll see.
Yeah. Or if Kyle wanted to trade me Rojo's first round pick for David Montgomery, I would do that straight up because that first round pick, Rojo's the defending champ. We assume he's going to be good. That is going to be a late first round pick.
Oh, y'all think Rojo's team's going to be good next year?
Yo, you can't sit up in here and talk about Bam's team and then turn around and question Rojo's team. Rojo got the best roster in the league.
Subjective.
Okay.
Y'all keep believing that blue cheese ass title run, but okay. Shout out to Champ. Shout out to Champ.
What kind of run was it?
Oh, that shit was blue cheese. Wingstop blue cheese.
What'd you say, Chuck?
That's Wingstop blue cheese. Yo, Chuck. Why after game one, after that Pacers Knicks game last week, Chuck was talking about Neesmith and Nembhard, and he was like, "Man, I just want to know what type of shape you in, because you was out there looking fresh as a daisy." Yo, the whole panel, everyone at the table was like, "What?"
Nothing will beat the bracelet in the sauna story. Nothing will ever beat that story.
No. Hold on. Oh, no, hold on. No, I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find that one. Hold on 1 second. Oh,
Cal,
man.
why you do that? Cal said he's not trading a first for a running back at this time. Cal, that's fair. I'm just saying, like, if someone wanted David Montgomery and they had a first round pick that is projected to be at the end of the first round, like, I'd listen to that too.
Wait, can you hear?
Like, that looks like a great aggressive.
You know, I got this bracelet from a guy
Can you hear this?
Yeah, we can hear it.
in the steam room back in Arizona.
You got Hey, Kenny, quit asking questions,
You
man.
got the bracelet from a
dude
guy
in
in the steam room. Explain, please. Please explain. I saw this guy wear this in the steam room, and I noticed a dark in the light.
So what, did you ask him
Are
for
you
it?
kidding me? And I did. We were talking. I said, that's a nice bracelet. And I said, I had never seen it before. And I asked him, I didn't ask him for it. So we get out of the steam room, we get dressed. He comes over, he said, man, you can have the bracelet.
Wait, I had a question. Were towels on or off in the
Towels were on.
Okay, that's all I'm saying, man.
Towels were on.
Okay, man.
Hey.
Y'all get out. Yo, he got me up. He's like, ask him about the bracelet. So I didn't know the story. Oh, my God.
Towels were on, Chuck. Towels were on. But he was a real nice guy. He gave
Obviously, he was real nice.
Man.
Oh, yeah. In the steam room.
Holy shit.
No, keep going. Because the end, he's like, whatever your name is, thank you for the bracelet. You don't remember his name? Oh, share it again? I hit the wrong thing. Oh, dang it.
Oh, shit. Oh, is it not? Hold on.
Nah, I hit the wrong thing. Can you share it again? Because that's the funniest part. There it is.
Oh, man.
like sand from the Black Sea.
Yeah.
And this is.
You know what? Nobody's
shout
listening.
out his name.
Nobody cares. America's greatest makers. That's a great bracelet, man.
Hey, man, y'all can't make me feel bad. We had our towels on and we been talking to the Y'all haters, dude.
I'm not saying anything wrong. I just hey, you ever see yourself admitting, yeah, the guy in the steam room gave me his bracelet? I don't see that.
You don't tell nobody else that story, Chuck.
Too late.
You're too honest. Y'all haters, man.
Don't tell nobody else.
Man, whatever your name is.
Just say, hey, look, I don't even know his name.
I don't know his name.
And then he gave you a bracelet in the steam room as he was rubbing oil on your back.
so
You don't
empty.
even know his name. Oh, man.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Yo, that reminds me. Have you seen this trend on TikTok of men calling other men, wishing them good night?
No.
Oh, my God.
No, and I don't want to
I'm
see
not
that
kidding
trend.
you. It's a trend on TikTok of men just calling their homies. Yo, dog. What's up? Not much. What you up to? Shit. I'm at home. Yada yada. Woody woo. I mean, getting ready for bed or whatever. Dude on his home in the line. I just wanted to tell you good night, bro. Sweet dreams. And
I'm going to do that shit tonight. Dead ass.
Yo, you want to hear some toxic ass masculinity? Every response was, hey, yo, dog, what the fuck is good with you? Why the fuck are you calling me with this?
I'm doing that tonight. Nah, dog. I got to do that. I'm going to call my homie tonight and be like, good night, dog.
Yeah. Now what you got to do is you got to set him up, just ask him like, yo, what you doing? Like, what you want? Like, you know what I mean? What you want? Let them start talking and just be like, nah, shit. I just wanted to call and tell you good night, fam. Make sure you take sweet dreams. Well, yo, tell me the response you get. I promise you'll get some toxic masculinity. Speaking of which, speaking of toxic, Kyle says he's got an offer in mind for David Montgomery, but it's not involved in the first. Jamie says Montgomery should be worth a mid-second. Looks like the David Montgomery market is heating up. We will see. All right, quick hits on the NFL topics. I want a ton of news. I think the biggest thing we want to first start off by giving our thoughts and condolences to the Colts and the Irsay family. The passing of Jim Irsay last week. Just hearing more about him, I think there's a lot of online jokes about him being a drunk, but he was also a great philanthropist, very generous man. He loved the city of Indianapolis, loved Colts, and was a great ambassador for the league. So
he did get some tweets off though. Hey, some of his tweets that have floated up.
Like what?
I don't want to talk about it. Just go on Twitter and look at you. What he said.
We got he wasn't perfect. He made some mistakes, and he admitted to those mistakes.
I think it was the ones like, "Is it okay to be in love with Sarah Palin's feet?"
Oh no! Side note. Earlier today, I was watching First Take, and Kendrick Perkins was going on talking about how to be a superstars of previous years, they were all family. So then he started naming people like MJ. He named Larry Bird. He named LeBron, Steph Curry, and somewhere in there, he named Magic Johnson. And he said, well, Magic Johnson, he was like, these guys, they weren't out doing whatever off the court. And I swear on everything I love, I felt like Stephen A was trying to contain himself from saying some shit like, Magic Johnson has AIDS. Donald Sterling, whole time in my head, I just heard Donald Sterling saying, what the fuck does Magic Johnson know? He has AIDS.
He has AIDS.
All right, back to football. Quickly going over last week's owners meeting. The reseeding of the playoffs did not get passed.
Yep.
The biggest topic was the tush push ban that did not get passed. I believe, as a Packers fan, that it was not passed not because of people who didn't want the tush push in. I believe a lot of teams did not want the tush push in. It was the wording for the new proposal when the Packers revised it that I think off-put enough folks to get that thing unpassed. So essentially, the Packers revised it to be from essentially banning the tush push to banning any pushing of offensive players by other people by other folks. Which, if you watch football, that basically stops the gang pile when your running back has stopped on the one and your offensive line pushes it in. That stops the receiver catching the ball at the 2, fighting with the DB, and an offensive lineman or someone pushes them into the end. It stops that play, and I think there are a lot of football people in the room who were against that. Shout out to Philly. That's a big win for you guys. I think last week I said this wasn't going to get passed. Good for Philly. I think it's a bullshit ass play. I don't really think it's football, but at the same time, I don't think we should take the play away from everyone just because one team does it really effectively. Now, going forward, what I do think will happen is this play is going to become so successful that then they're going to find a way to then change it when that many teams get at it. So, Philly, you better hope the rest of the league stays bad at it or this thing's out of here sooner than you think.
All I got to say is shout out Dan Campbell. He walked the walk. He's the only person that the Eagles face this year that didn't vote to ban it. Shout out Dan Campbell.
Yeah, because that play is some bullshit. And everyone, all you other teams that voted against it, no, the Ravens didn't vote. The Ravens voted to keep it in too. So
they did. But the Chargers, John Harbaugh, you a fraud. I see you.
Oh, Jim Harbaugh.
Jim is in LA. Yeah, Jim, you're a fraud. Everything
he said he wanted to keep football, and he did.
Yeah, he won them. I'm an old school. No, you're a fraud, big boy. D'Amico Ryans, you a liar. Shane Steichen, Jonathan Gannon, you have a job because of the tush push. Shout out Kellen Moore. He know the hand that fed him, that got him that job.
Listen, I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad it didn't get banned. The Eagles shouldn't be punished because they're too good at a play. The rest of the league, I promise you, once we get good at this play too, they're shutting this shit down. It's gonna be like the PAT. They took that bitch from the 20 to the 30. Now all of a sudden, you really got to hold your breath sometimes when you watch those PAT.
Good luck.
Give it 2 years. Give it 2 years, and everyone's going to be at above a 90% clip on that play, and then essentially, football will be known as basically playing. You're just playing 1st and 9. 1st and 9. So get ready.
Also, shout out to the whole AFC East who voted against the Bills just to say fuck the Bills. Love it. Whole AFC East voted to keep it in except the Bills.
Yeah. And the Bills, I think y'all are shady for voting against it when I feel like y'all should be voting for it because y'all were the dummies that ran that play 4 straight times and couldn't get it done. Like,
so that's on you.
Yeah. Other quick hits. Shout out to Brock Purdy. Finally got his
bag.
Shout out to Nick Sirianni, who finally got his bag. Last thing in regards to the NFL, Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God. Listen. Do you want to talk about that tweet you tagged me in?
He just a crackhead. He talking like a crackhead.
He might be.
He talk like a crackhead. Cal, I see your trade. I'm gonna look at it and think about it tonight. But he a crackhead. He a whole crackhead.
Yo, he is so interesting. Why he won't just sign with the Steelers and commit? Why are we in May and we still don't know if he even playing next year?
He a crackhead. Why are we entertaining a crackhead? That man is a crackhead.
What do you think Mike Tomlin's sitting at his desk saying? What the hell am I signing up for?
He's the shit, man. We need to go get Kirk Cousins because at least he doesn't smoke crack.
Ain't nobody paying Kirk Cousins ain't nobody paying for that money for Kirk Cousins.
Hey,
Sorry.
you're gonna have to figure it out.
Hey, I know Kirk somewhere like, damn, I don't want to leave this money on the table, but boy, I want to play football. It's a tough decision, Kirk. Tough decision. We'll go through Saturday night's main event. We don't have to go through all the matches. I think biggest call outs, Damian Priest, aka known as Puerto Rican Undertaker, as some people like to call him. He won a slobber knocker over steel cage match. John Cena versus Ron Cena was pure fucking comedy. Bronson Reed is back. So after all those wars with Seth Rollins, now he's on Seth Rollins' team. So my prediction of Sami Zayn turning on CM Punk was wrong because now they brought Bronson Reed back. So now it's Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins.
There's room for one more. There's room for one more.
There's room for one more, but I'm not going to hold you. I'm not too. This little faction doesn't really move the needle with me.
Really? You got 2 killers.
I think I just need to see more.
Oh, don't you worry.
I think I need to see more because you know how when when Paul Heyman was the bloodline, when Paul Heyman talked for Roman or let Roman speak, you knew. I need to know the story of this faction because it just seems like it's Seth Rollins who's out here with the fancy clothes, and then Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed who just beat up on people. Which is, if that's the faction, that's cool. I just feel like there's a little bit more meat there. So
we need a woman, not Becky. We need a woman who is not Becky.
That's going to be hard. What are your thoughts on the Cody Rhodes return during the Jey Uso Logan Paul match? So John Cena attacked Jey Uso to hopefully help. He tried to help Logan Paul win the title. Cody Rhodes came out, saved him, and now at Money in the Bank, it's a tag team match. Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso versus John Cena, Logan Paul.
Don't like it. John Cena needs to defend the title as much as possible. I feel like this is just a filler.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like that whole match with Ron Cena was a filler.
Yeah, if this is the last go, it needs to be like legitimate title matches. It just can't be he loses it at SummerSlam to Cody. Like he needs to be tested.
And I feel like before we go, we need to see the John Cena CM Punk.
100%. 100%.
We need to. Last thing. Again, we revisit the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. I think before last week, Kid Cudi had not testified. The only thing I'm gonna say is we cannot continue to say that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car. That's not true. He just threw a Molotov cocktail in there. But we need to discuss. We need to discuss more how it sounded like Cassie sent Diddy Kid Cudi's address. Why does nobody talk about that?
I don't know, but can we also talk? I don't know if this is true. The claim that Diddy broke into his house and opened up his Christmas presents.
Lock the dog in the closet. Yo,
Did I fall for a Centel, or is that true?
I think that's true. And this man is yo.
Have you seen the court drawings? They get me every time. The court drawings of him are so funny. Like, this case is not funny, but those court, like the one of him with the heart sign, shoot him, dog. Stop wasting our time. Shoot him.
What's gonna happen when he don't get the time that people think he's gonna get?
Well, I think even if he does, man, 47 look like he just handing out pardons. All you gotta do is be a little corrupt, and he'll bail out of jail, no problem.
I think that's his defense. His team's already probably explored that option. Yo, if you get,
if you get him out,
if you get him out,
we got something for you.
Oh man, you really about to trade David Montgomery to someone who ain't me, huh?
No, I got to think about this. I don't think I'm going to take this. So Kyle offered me Michael Pittman and Bam's 2027 third for David Montgomery and me giving up a 2027 second. I'm not feeling it. Again, it goes back to the boutique thing. I have enough mid-wide receivers.
Well, you could always use more.
Got plenty mid-wide receivers. I don't know what the fuck Anthony Richards be on. So,
Dang.
But yeah, I need to think about it. But first glimpse, nah. Like, your deal in my mind was better than that.
Brother, you could always come back.
No, well, we'll see.
You
We'll
can
see what the streets say.
Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us, and all we can do is thank you. We are in the middle of NHL season. We are in the middle of NBA playoff season. And the NFL is slowly but surely coming back.
100 days away from kickoff.
100 days away. Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us tonight. Make sure you follow the podcast at @speakonit_pod on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure you follow myself at Los D Mix across all socials. Please be sure to send us your questions at speakonitpod14@gmail.com, particularly if you want us to talk about all things that are not sports related. We are happy to cover off on those topics. Danny, make sure you tell the people where to follow you at.
You can find me, Danny Ocean 41 on Blue Side and the Xbird app.
Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us, and all we can do is thank you. 185 episomes of Speak On It. And like this joint that I'm getting ready to finish rolling before I respond to my coworker, time for a smoke break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch y'all next week, next time, doing the same thing. Be safe and make sure you speak on it. Shout out to Going For Two. Shout out to Kyle, Jamie, Keely, everyone who was in the live chat with us tonight, and everyone who listened. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.